Most people think a breathtaking garden takes years of experience, a huge budget, or some mysterious natural talent. But the truth is much simpler than that. Many of the most beautiful gardens you'll see this summer started with one smart decision made in May. They planted perennials, not annuals that look good for a few months and then disappear forever, not shrubs that need years before they become exciting. Perennials are the plants that come back year after year, growing stronger, fuller, and more beautiful with time. You plant them once, give them a little patience, and they reward you for seasons, sometimes decades. And May is one of the best times to get them into the ground. The soil is warming, the growing season is opening up, and these plants are ready to establish quickly. Plant them now, and by summer your garden can already be full of color, fragrance, texture, and wildlife. By next year it will be even better. And a few years from now, you may have neighbors stopping by just to ask what you're doing differently. Today I'm giving you 13 beautiful perennials you should plant in May, ranked from reliable and impressive to absolutely unforgettable. Stay until the end, because one of these plants can bloom in the same spot for nearly a century, and the final one looks delicate enough to belong in a fairy tale, yet it comes back stronger every year with almost no effort from you. Hit that subscribe button because every week we share plants, tips, and garden ideas that help you build a yard that works with nature instead of against it. Let's get into it. Number 1. Black-eyed Susan Rudbeckia, the unbreakable gold standard. Let's begin with the plant that proves perennial gardening does not have to be complicated. Black-eyed Susan is one of those flowers that seems almost too easy to be this beautiful. You know the look: golden yellow petals surrounding a deep dark center, like tiny suns scattered across the garden. You've probably seen them growing along roadsides, in meadows, in fields, and in places where nobody waters, fertilizes, or fusses over them. And that tells you everything you need to know. Black-eyed Susan is tough. It handles heat, humidity, drought, poor soil, and neglect. Plant it in May, give it full sun and decent drainage, and it will reward you with months of color from midsummer all the way to frost. This is the kind of plant every garden needs because it does more than look pretty. Bees, butterflies, and other pollinators love the flowers. Later in the season, when the blooms turn to seed, birds like goldfinches feed from the seed heads. So one plant gives you summer color pollinator activity, winter bird food, and a stronger garden ecosystem. The best part is that Black-eyed Susan does not want to be pampered. Rich soil and too much fertilizer can actually make it floppy. It performs best when you let it be a little wild. Think of it as the backbone of a sunny perennial border. It is bright, cheerful, dependable, and almost impossible to discourage. Number 2. Coneflower Echinacea, the pollinator magnet. If Black-eyed Susan is the backbone of the summer garden, coneflower is the pulse. Echinacea brings movement, energy, and wildlife into your yard. Those raised central cones, surrounded by purple, pink, white, or orange petals, are instantly recognizable. They look beautiful in a border, but their real power is what they attract. Bees land on them constantly. Butterflies drift from bloom to bloom. Birds arrive later for the seeds. Plant coneflowers in May, and by summer you will understand why gardeners keep returning to them year after year. These are prairie plants, which means they are built for sun, heat, wind, and periods of dryness. Once established, they need very little from you. They also get better with age. A single small plant can become a strong clump. Over time, it may self-seed lightly, giving you more plants for free. And if you leave the seed heads standing through fall and winter, your garden keeps working long after the flowers fade. That is one of the secrets of smart perennial gardening. You are not just planting for a few weeks of bloom, you are planting for the whole year. Coneflowers feed pollinators in summer and birds in winter. They give structure, color, and life to the garden even when you are no longer paying close attention. For best results, plant them in full sun and well-drained soil. Avoid overwatering and do not cut them back too early. Let them stand. Let them feed the wildlife. Let them become part of the rhythm of your garden. Number 3. Shasta Daisy, the classic that never fails. Some flowers become classics because they are beautiful, others become classics because they are useful. Shasta daisy is both. Those clean white petals around a bright yellow center bring instant freshness to a garden. They have been lighting up cottage gardens, farmhouse borders, and cutting gardens for generations, and they have never really gone out of style. Plant Shasta daisies in May, and you can expect blooms in early to midsummer. They last for weeks, and if you deadhead the spent flowers, many varieties will continue blooming or produce another flush. What makes Shasta daisy so valuable is contrast. In a garden full of hot colors like yellow, orange, red, and purple-white flowers, give the eye a place to rest. They make everything around them look clearer and more vibrant. They are also excellent cut flowers. Bring them indoors, place them in a vase, and they carry that simple garden charm into the house. Shasta daisies like full sun average soil and good drainage. Over time, they form larger clumps that can be divided in spring. That means one plant can eventually become several, giving you more flowers without buying more plants. Use them behind shorter plants or mixed among colorful perennials. Their bright faces rise above the border and create that cheerful, effortless look gardeners love. They are not rare. They are not exotic. But that is exactly their strength. Shasta daisies work, and they keep working. Number 4. Blanket flower Gaillardia, non-stop color from summer to frost. If you want a perennial that refuses to quit, plant blanket flower. Gaillardia brings bold, fiery color to the garden in shades of red, orange, gold, and yellow. The flowers look almost hand-painted with rings of warm color that glow in full sun. And once they start blooming, they keep going. This is one of the best choices for gardeners who deal with hot, dry conditions. Poor soil, blazing sun, and drought do not scare blanket flower. In fact, it often performs better when you do not spoil it. Too much fertilizer or rich soil can make it weaker. Lean soil and full sun bring out its best. Plant it in May, and it can bloom from late spring or early summer all the way to frost. That long bloom season makes it incredibly useful in a perennial border. Many perennials have a short peak and then step back, but blanket flower keeps filling the gaps. When other plants pause, it carries the show forward. Deadheading can help encourage continuous blooms, especially during the main growing season. But toward the end of the year, leave some seed heads standing. Birds will enjoy them, and the plant can self-seed in the right conditions. Blanket flower is perfect for sunny borders, dry slopes, pollinator gardens, and low-maintenance landscapes. It gives you big color without big demands. Number 5. Lavender, the fragrant foundation. Lavender is where a garden becomes more than something you look at. It becomes something you feel. Brush your hand against the foliage, and that unmistakable fragrance rises immediately. Bees hum around the purple flower spikes. The silvery leaves catch the light. Even when it is not in full bloom, lavender adds structure, scent, and softness. Plant lavender in May, and you are adding atmosphere to the garden. But here is the mistake many gardeners make. They love lavender too much. They give it rich soil, extra water, heavy mulch, and constant attention. That is how lavender dies. Lavender wants full sun, sharp drainage, lean soil, and space to breathe. It does not want wet roots. It does not want heavy clay. It does not want to be coddled. Plant it where water drains away quickly, such as a slope-raised bed gravel garden or sunny border. Once established, lavender is drought-tolerant and wonderfully low maintenance. Harvest the flower spikes just as they open, tie them in bundles, and hang them upside down to dry. You can use dried lavender for fragrance arrangements, sachets, or simply to bring the scent of the garden indoors. Lavender also works beautifully as an edging plant. Line a path with it, and every time someone walks by, the fragrance releases into the air. It is elegant, useful, tough, and timeless. Before we move into shade-loving perennials and taller, dramatic plants, notice the pattern. Every plant so far gives more than it asks for. That is the whole philosophy of perennial gardening. You invest once, and the reward grows year after year. If that idea makes sense to you, hit the like button. It helps this video reach more gardeners who are tired of replanting everything every spring. Now let's keep going. Number 6. Hosta, the queen of shade. Some gardeners see shade as a problem. Hosta gardeners know better. Shade is an opportunity. In those cool, dim, dappled corners where sun-loving flowers struggle, hostas create lushness. Their large leaves bring texture, calm, and richness to the garden. Some are deep green, some are blue-green, some are chartreuse gold, cream-edged, white-centered, or dramatically variegated. There are thousands of hosta varieties from small border plants to giants with leaves the size of dinner plates, and once established, they are incredibly dependable. Plant hostas in May in a spot with morning sun and afternoon shade, or beneath trees where light filters through. Give them decent soil and moisture while they establish, and they will slowly expand into impressive clumps. In summer, hostas send up flower stalks with lavender or white blooms. The flowers are subtle compared to the foliage, but pollinators appreciate them. In fall, the leaves turn gold and fade away. Then in spring, they return again bigger than before. The real magic of hostas is longevity. A well-planted hosta can live for decades in the same spot. You can divide it later to create more plants, but you do not have to. It will simply keep coming back, filling shade with beauty year after year. If you have a dark corner that feels empty, plant hostas. They can transform it. Number 7. Bleeding Heart Spring Drama in the Shade Garden. Bleeding Heart earns its place because there is simply nothing else like it. Long arching stems carry rows of heart-shaped flowers, usually in pink or white, each with a tiny droplet hanging below. They look delicate, romantic, almost unreal, like something from an old storybook, and they bloom in spring right when the garden is waking up. Plant Bleeding Heart in May, in a cool, shaded location with moist, well-drained soil. It pairs beautifully with hostas because they enjoy similar conditions but perform at different times. Bleeding Heart gives you spring drama. Hostas give you summer structure. Together they make a shaded bed feel planned and layered. One thing to know, Bleeding Heart often goes dormant in summer, especially when heat arrives. Many beginners think the plant has died, but it is simply resting underground. This is normal. It will return the next spring. Use that habit to your advantage. Plant summer perennials nearby so they fill the space after Bleeding Heart fades. That is how mature gardens work. One plant steps forward, then another takes its place. Bleeding Heart is also loved by early bumblebees and hummingbirds. The white variety is especially elegant in woodland gardens, glowing softly in the shade. It is graceful, memorable, and perfect for anyone who wants a garden with emotion. Number 8. Astilbe Feathery Flames for moist shade. Astilbe does something very few perennials can do well. It brings color height and drama to moist shade. Its feathery plumes rise above fern-like foliage in shades of pink, red, white, lavender, and soft peach. The effect is lush and almost tropical, even though Astilbe is hardy in cold climates. If you have a damp, shaded spot, Astilbe may be exactly what you need. Many plants struggle in wet shade, but Astilbe thrives there. Plant it near a downspout beside a pond in a low area that stays moist or under trees where the soil does not dry out completely. Plant in May, keep it watered while it establishes, and by summer it can reward you with soft, vertical color. Astilbe is also valuable after the flowers fade. The dried plumes remain attractive for weeks, slowly turning brown and adding texture to the garden. You can leave them standing into winter for movement and structure. For a longer display, combine early mid-season and late-blooming Astilbe varieties. That way one group begins as another finishes, and your shaded garden stays interesting for much longer. Astilbe is proof that shade does not have to be dull. With the right plant's shade can be rich, colorful, and full of quiet drama. Number 9. Coral Bells Heuchera Foliage as Art. Most perennials give you flowers for a few weeks and plain green leaves for the rest of the season. Coral Bells completely changes that idea. With Heuchera, the leaves are the main event. Modern coral bells come in colors that almost do not seem real: burgundy, caramel, copper, lime, green, silver, plum, bronze, and nearly black purple. Some have dark veins, some have ruffled edges, some glow in shade like little pools of color. Plant coral bells in May, and they provide interest all season long. They form tidy mounds that work beautifully along border edges in containers, beneath taller plants, or in partly shaded beds. In summer, they send up thin flower stems with small bell-shaped blooms in pink, white, or red. Hummingbirds love them, even though the flowers look delicate. The design value of coral bells is enormous. They act like punctuation marks in the garden. Place them between taller plants, and they create contrast. Use them along a path, and they define the edge. Add them to containers, and they provide color even when other plants are between blooms. They prefer partial shade, especially in hot climates and well-drained soil. Once established, they are easy to maintain and can be divided when clumps become crowded. Coral bells are not loud, but they are powerful. They make a garden look intentional. Number 10. Delphinium, the towering blue spire. True blue is rare in the garden. Not purple blue, not lavender blue, but clear, deep sky-like blue. Delphiniums deliver that color with more drama than almost any other perennial. Their tall flower spikes can rise 4, 5, even 6 feet high, covered in blooms from pale blue to deep indigo. Some have white or dark centers, often called bees, which make the flowers look even more detailed. Plant delphiniums in May at the back of a border, where their height can create a dramatic backdrop. They look incredible behind daisies, lavender, catmint roses, and other lower-growing plants. They are also hummingbird favorites. The tall spikes become feeding stations, and watching hummingbirds move along them is one of the great pleasures of a summer garden. Now, delphiniums are not the easiest plants on this list. They like rich soil, consistent moisture, full sun in cooler climates, and protection from strong wind. You will probably need to stake them because tall flower spikes can snap in storms. But the payoff is worth it. Few plants can change the entire feeling of a garden the way delphiniums do. When they bloom, they create height, color, and elegance all at once. After the first bloom, cut the spikes back. Many varieties will produce a second, smaller flush later in the season. Delphinium is the plant you grow when you want a moment of pure garden drama. Number 11. Lupine vertical color when the garden needs it most. Lupines bloom at a perfect time. They arrive in late spring to early summer, filling the gap between spring bulbs and the main summer perennials. Their upright spikes come in purple, pink, yellow, white, blue, and beautiful bicolor combinations. They have a strong architectural shape that makes them stand out immediately in a border. Plant lupines in May from container-grown plants, and they can establish while the weather is still mild. They grow from tap roots, so they do not like being moved once planted. Choose the spot carefully, then let them settle in. After blooming, their palmate leaves remain attractive, adding texture even when the flowers are gone. The seed pods that follow can also add interest. Lupines offer an ecological bonus too. They are nitrogen-fixing plants, meaning they work with bacteria in their roots to improve the soil. In simple terms, they help enrich the ground around them. They prefer cooler climates, full sun, and well-drained soil. In hot regions, they may fade or go dormant in summer, but that does not mean they are gone. Many return the following spring. Over time, lupines can self-seed and form colonies, creating a natural, slightly wild look. They are perfect for cottage gardens, meadow-style borders, and pollinator-friendly spaces. Lupine brings height, color, and soil-building power in one unforgettable plant. Number 12. Peony blooms for generations. Here is the plant that changes how you think about gardening. A peony can live and bloom in the same spot for 50, 75, even 100 years. There are old farmhouse gardens where peonies planted generations ago still return every spring, blooming as if no time has passed. That is the power of a perennial. Peonies produce some of the most luxurious flowers in the entire garden world. Huge blooms in white, cream, pink, coral, and red. Some are full and ruffled. Some are simple and elegant. Many are wonderfully fragrant. The bloom season is not long, often just a few weeks in late spring, but it feels like an event. When peonies bloom, the whole garden changes. Plant peonies in May in full sun and rich, well-drained soil. The most important rule is this: do not plant them too deep. The eyes or growing buds should sit only about 1 to 2 inches below the soil surface. If planted too deeply, peonies may grow leaves but refuse to bloom. After planting, be patient. The first year may be modest, the second year is better. By the third year and beyond, the plant begins to show what it can really do. By year 5, a healthy peony can become one of the most breathtaking plants in your garden. Peonies need little care once established. They do not like to be moved, so choose their location wisely. Give them space, sun, and time. One plant, one afternoon of work, and it may reward not only you, but the gardeners who come after you. Number 13. Columbine Aquilegia, the delicate tough one. And now we arrive at the plant that looks almost too fragile to be dependable. Columbine has nodding flowers with backward-pointing spurs that hover above lacy blue-green foliage. The blooms can be blue, purple, red, yellow, pink, white, or bicolored. Some look like tiny lanterns. Some look like birds in flight. Some look like flowers from a botanical illustration. But do not let the delicate appearance fool you. Columbine is tough. It tolerates cold, partial shade average soil and changing moisture better than you might expect. It blooms in spring, bridging the gap between early bulbs and summer perennials. That timing makes it especially valuable because it brings color when the garden is shifting from one season to the next. Plant columbine in May in a spot where you would be happy to see it naturalize, because that is its real magic. Once established, it self-seeds freely. It appears in cracks, corners, shaded edges, and unexpected spaces. It drifts through the garden in a way that feels natural rather than forced. Even better, different varieties can cross with one another, creating new color combinations over time. The columbines in your garden may not look exactly the same every year. They may surprise you. Hummingbirds visit the spurred flowers for nectar. Bumblebees often find their own way in. The whole plant seems to invite interaction. Columbine reminds us what perennial gardening is really about. Not total control, not perfection, partnership. You provide the space and time. The plant provides beauty, movement, wildlife value, and the quiet determination to return. So there you have it, 13 beautiful perennials to plant in May. Each one asks for something simple, a good spot, a little patience, and enough time to establish. The gardening industry will always try to sell you more things, more annuals, more fertilizer, more soil, amendments, more products, more replacements every spring. But perennials change that cycle. You plant once, care for them occasionally, and then year after year they give back. Black-eyed Susan and coneflower bring easy color and pollinators. Shasta daisy and blanket flower keep the sunny border bright. Lavender adds fragrance and atmosphere. Hosta, bleeding heart, astilbe, and coral bells transform shade. Delphinium and lupine bring height and drama. Peony gives you a legacy. And columbine brings that wild, delicate magic that makes a garden feel alive. If this video helped you see your May garden differently, hit the like button. Drop a comment and tell me which of these perennials you would plant first. Are you going for an easy sunny border, a lush shade garden, or a long-term investment like peony? Subscribe to Homestead Roots for more simple, smart gardening ideas every week. And remember, grow smarter, not harder. See you in the next video.